this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin. He's Kotobuki Jake.
Hey,
At least I think so, anyway.
last time I checked.
But we're going to be here with another pickup video to show you what we got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
But, well, this time I just thought I would start with something just fun. Of course, I like to go on cruises, and so does my wife. And we're preparing to go on a rather big one. I'm not going to say when, but the videos will be up afterwards. If those of you actually following our vacation videos, our second day stuff was last week, and I'm trying to edit day 3 for Thursday. Not going to promise anything. But we're preparing for the cruise. That's the next coming vacation. And it's an inaugural cruise, which is kind of cool. So, the first thing is we got some shirts. Now, I got one for me, because orange is my color. And it's this here. It's boarding day shirt. You can see Jake sees the back.
Yep.
You can see now it says it's boarding day on there. And it's the first drink of the day. Which we do love the dining package and the drink package, and you can bet we're going to be doing that. They gave us this. I was thinking about having to buy one of these for this, but cruise magnets are a thing because the doors are metal. So I've got this thing here. I wanted to get some of their others, but they're sold out. And it's like I'm back at it again. I'm celebrating cruises and counting. So. We're going to have to do it together, which means that it's going to be our 4th cruise, 5th for Kim, 4th for me.
Cozy.
But we'll just put 4th for the both of us when we go on it. And that'll be on our door. I'll say that for last. And so, of course, I got Kim an alternative version. Just hi, my name is. And then on the back, it's also got first drink of the day. And it's a... It's got a purple because Kim likes purple. And then finally, the channel we got this from is a channel we watch called Travel Spree, which I got this for me. I really like the channel. I really do enjoy their stuff. So I wanted to show off that stuff. If you like travel, cruising, and stuff like that, you should check them out. They're fun, they are entertaining, and I hope that we will see them on this on the inaugural. I think they're going to be on it, but whether they're going to be on the one that we're on or one of the other inaugural sailings that they're doing, I don't know how you could have multiple inaugural sailings, but apparently they are.
That does seem a bit counterintuitive.
Kim and I are booked on the first true inaugural sailing, which is the official sailing, and one preview cruise prior. But there's a lot of preview cruises.
Okay.
But, this time we got some fun for you, a little bit larger than the normal. This bag is making a return. So Jake doesn't really know what I've gotten here.
I still wish I had gotten one of those when I had the chance. But
I
anyway.
only know one of what he's got because, I handed it to him. But, any case, so we got 8 items, and I'll let Jake head us off now. Because...
and one of these days, maybe I'll make a cruise with them. Who knows? It seems like something I'd like to do, but also not.
They're getting closer to carbon neutral. They're not quite there yet. They're actually using a new fuel technology, a lot of better waste recycling.
Right.
They're getting there, but they haven't quite reached it yet. But it's a lot. The newer ships are a lot better on the environment than the older ones, which is weird because they're much bigger.
Yeah.
But,
well, there's other factors as
yeah.
well, but it's still something. And I kind of hope we can do another one that trips like we did in Outer Banks, but I don't know if I should hold my breath on that. Meanwhile, I do a lot of just random road trips on my own, and I recently came back from a long trip. I've probably mentioned it in the videos. I know I've mentioned it on the Movies Galore channel. Big swing around the southern states, my second ever trip to Florida. So that was really cool. Saw a lot of cool stuff. But anyway, to the subject at hand. My issues with things like cruises are widespread and multi-pronged, and I've talked about this. I'm scaling way back on my collecting generally, but I still pick up stuff, and I still have stuff sitting that's been there for months because we just haven't been doing frequent videos. So,
We're also rationing so that we can
Right.
make it last as longer.
and most of what I have today are conversions. I think I'll have to check as I go. I think most of these are Kino Lorber. There may be a couple from Shout. But there's a lot of conversions here of movies that I had on DVD, but I'm downsizing and upgrading at the same time to Blu-ray. And one of those is a movie that I first saw this and I was like, oh, and this one is a Shout Select. So I already am stepping away from Kino. This was one that the first time I saw it, I was like, I must see this movie because the title amused me. And it had one hell of a cast, and that is a spoof of the detective genre called Murder by Death, and it was directed by Robert Moore. It's Neil Simon is credited with the screenplay for this, so that's pretty fun right there. But you got Eileen Brennan, Truman Capote in a rare acting role, James Coco, Peter Falk, who plays, I believe, Sam and Diamond, I think was the name, is clearly a Sam Spade knockoff. Alec Guinness, you've got Elsa Lancaster, David Niven, Peter Sellers in a very unfortunate Charlie Chan role, Maggie Smith,
Yes.
Nancy Walker, and Estelle Winwood. I mean, again, a hell of a cast. The Peter Sellers role is cringe, but
yes.
he's a spoof of a cringe idea in the first place, because I do believe Charlie Chan was played by a white dude in the first place.
Yep.
Interesting for the idea of watching Truman Capote try to act. It is a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I had to have this opportunity to convert to Blu-ray. And it does actually have a few bonus features. It is Shout Select, and they'll usually throw a few things on there, so might be well worth looking at. Yep.
So a lot of this, unfortunately, I've had a lot of stuff coming in lately, which I'm trying not to. Oddly enough, a lot of what I've come in with is rarely new stuff. A lot of it's conversions or expanding on what I have. Because if I'm already in a series, I want to keep collecting that series. And sometimes that also forks off into the spin-offs and stuff like that. But, so you're going to see a lot of that today. But there's Animu.
All right.
So the first one's a conversion. I got this from Dustin. And because he was trying to sell off some stuff, and I didn't really have a lot that I needed or really wanted. But this one I thought, you know what? I've just got a bare bones DVD. Why don't I just upgrade it? And that is the Steelbook version of 8 Mile.
Oh, my favorite Animu.
So this one here actually is the Eminem movie. It's got one of the best songs I've actually heard from him. And it's a pretty good movie. Matter of fact, not just pretty good, very excellent movie.
One of his rare acting roles, and he actually does a great job.
Yes.
He does.
It's worth having in a collection. I think it's a great film, and it's been too long sitting as just a bare bones DVD in the collection. So, I mean, it didn't bother me to upgrade.
That's a nice addition.
It is, and
notable as the first rap song to win an Oscar, and "Lose Yourself" is a hell of a song.
It is.
It's a hell of a song.
I think I actually like it better than the other one that came up after, which, Hard Out Here for a Pimp is entertaining, but this one's actually downright awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it followed an interesting triptych by Curtis Hanson of 3 movies in a row where completely random Oscar wins. You had Kim Basinger winning for L.A. Confidential, Bob Dylan winning for Wonder Boys, and then Eminem for 8 Mile. It's like, that was interesting. But anyway.
These are all alphabetical order, which is why they might show up as they do. But go.
My next one is a Kino release. And this is one that is a conversion. I personally love this movie. It kind of flew under the radar, and a lot of people didn't really think much of it. I loved it, and I really want to read the book that it's based on. I've been meaning for a long time to read some Elmore Leonard. I believe Live by Night might have been Leonard, but if I'm remembering that correctly, that's the only one I've read. But I really want to read this book. The movie is great. And that is the George Clooney, Jennifer Lopez film directed by Steven Soderbergh called Out of Sight. You've also got Albert Brooks, Dennis Farina, a few other good folks in there, Don Cheadle and Ving Rhames. So that's a good cast. A lot of people like to dunk on Jennifer Lopez, but she can act, and I think she does a good job here. She and Clooney have phenomenal chemistry. It's just a fun movie. Soderbergh is one of those directors who you never know what his next movie's going to be. Some of them are pure art house something, and some of them are pure fun. And I think this one's almost as fun as Ocean's 11, honestly. And this one actually does have a lot of really good special features on it, so this is a really good upgrade. I had, like I said, a pretty basic DVD edition, so it was on one of the sales, and I was like, I'm getting that.
So I was talking about anime spin-offs. Well, I do have one spin-off of a series. I don't even know if they had a pre-release other than this one, but I'm a big fan of City Hunter. Which one was it that was Cat's Eye? That was a City Hunter spin-off?
Cat's Eye is related to City Hunter.
Yeah. So that was one of them, but there was another spin-off that I know of that I couldn't find originally, but they recently did a re-release of it. Okay. So I went ahead and I got Angel Heart. So I believe this is the female, what was it, femme fatale type character from the series. Okay. Or the cop, I should say. And it's a 50-some episode series, so it's not a short series. It's a 50-episode series. It's a, of course, Eastern Star / Discotheque release.
That's what I was thinking with that slim case,
So, and of course it has City Hunter in it. So, I mean, it's a long-run series. It's a spin-off of a series I actually really like. So, I like to get completion if I can, though that's even waning these days with everything getting a re-release or a new series and things going on forever. I was just talking about how I'm just finally getting caught up to the Marvel Universe, and then Ironheart's releasing next week.
Well, you're closer than I am. My brother and I have been watching Defenders. We finally finished The Defenders. I start Punisher in the next few days.
Yeah, I have half of Cloak and Dagger Season 2 left.
Again, that one doesn't really count.
But it's enough to where it could.
Yeah.
And especially with the mutants being involved in this series again.
Well, with the way they're going to be playing with the multiverse,
And then, of course, there is the new Daredevil series, which I decided to just hold that to last because then it would all be out, which it will. So maybe by the time I'm done with the new Daredevil series, all of Ironheart will have finished. And then I'll finish Ironheart, and the next thing will have released. Who knows? Maybe Thunderbolts, because I didn't get to see it.
That was a good one.
But, but Angel Heart looks fun. let's see here. Yeah, as I say, female detective. I think it looks like it's going to be a fun series.
It's kind of funny that you follow Out of Sight with that, because when I think Angel Heart, I think of the Robert De Niro film, which I still need to see, by the way. But
She kind of looks like Robert De Niro.
but I mean, like, De Niro and Clooney are both. I got mad respect for them right now. But anyway, one person who's caused a great deal of controversy in different ways from the ways that Clooney and De Niro have is Roman Polanski. And Polanski, you know, for good reason, he's a fairly controversial figure. He definitely gave the Academy egg on their face when they belatedly kicked him out of the Academy many years later than they should have. And it was basically because they had to boot Harvey Weinstein, and they went ahead and got Polanski and Bill Cosby all kind of in one
Did
fell swoop.
they kick Woody Allen out?
No, I don't believe... Well, I haven't paid attention, but I don't think they did. I think with Polanski, Cosby, and Weinstein, it was
they've already
because...
been found guilty.
Yeah, it was basically the idea of, it's in the legal record. Yeah. We need to do something about this. But Polanski caused a huge stink in 2003, technically, when one of the greatest films ever released ended up winning him an Oscar, even though he was not allowed to set foot in American soil. But regardless of the man's flaws, and he had some, The Pianist is one hell of a movie.
Yes, it is.
It is one of his most personal films, and it is one hell of a film. And at the time, Adrian Brody was the youngest person ever to win Best Actor, which he was 29, which is kind of weird with that. But anyway, I had this on DVD. I think I had a decent edition. I'm honestly not sure if I've got a better assortment of special features here. But once again, this is a Shout Select release. Adrian Brody, Thomas Kretschmann, various other folks in there as well. Ed Stoppard's in there, Julia Rayner.
Probably that edition.
Yeah, I think that's probably the one I have. Let me see what's on there. Actually, that might actually be worth hanging on to. Well, the bonus features aren't as impressive as one might like for a Shout Select release. But again, I'm really trying to slim down and get the Blu-ray because they last longer and they look a little cooler. And honestly, I'm at a point where I'm not sure I care as much about keeping all the bonus features. So, I think this was worth grabbing. Shout doesn't usually put things on as steep a discount as Kino does, but they still have some good sales, and I probably picked this up for a good price, but it's been so long I've forgotten. But definitely, whatever you think of Polanski, I would still check this movie out. Just be aware it's not enjoyable in the conventional sense.
So, what's something that's going to be in the past now, because this is going to be a Wednesday debut. But Monday night, Dave and I are going to go on for another thing, and I'm going to show off some pickups for cartoons I watched when I was younger, and some Switch games. But there is one cartoon that I decided to hold because it seemed closer to Jake's time frame. I know you've watched this one as a kid.
Okay.
I wasn't going to get it originally because I felt like it was too expensive. But a friend of the channel, Kyle Rappaport, got me a nice Amazon gift card, which was very nice of him. Thank you, Kyle. Check out his channel, Movie Buff One. But I said, you know what? With that, I don't have to pay $10 for it. Well, I can do that. And this is Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Oh,
yes, I want this one.
So, I figured this one's more appropriate to Jake than Dave. Because Dave is kind of more on the side of the villains of the Captain Planet series.
Yeah.
So, This also includes Captain Planet and the Planeteers series and the New Adventures of Captain Planet. So a lot of media on this series.
Nice. I think previously they'd only ever put out season 1 on physical, so it's nice that they got it all together.
It doesn't say how many episodes, but you know.
It's 5 seasons, I believe. It's a lot of episodes.
At 1994, well, so 1994, 1996 for the other one, 1990, 1992 for the original. Captain Planet's is that young? I thought it was older than that.
No. Start of the 90s sounds about right.
Well, yeah, it must have hit me right before I aged out of it.
I mean, you can't tell from the designs how 90s that is.
That is true, yes. But for those who don't know what Captain Planet is it's an old school show that's very environmental, and there you got these 5 teens, each with elemental powers, except for Heart, you know.
Yeah.
And they can use those power rings to fight evil polluters. And when they combine their power rings, they form Captain Planet, which is this superhero who's got all the elemental powers combined, and he fights to save the planet. Now, this is a great one for a lot of environmentalists, but it might be the W word for a lot of people these days.
My vague recollection, because I loved it when I was a kid, but I ain't seen this in years.
I mean, it's not gonna hold up as well. I don't
My
think,
recollection was that it was cheesy as hell, but probably in a good way.
You know, it teaches kids to be good stewards of the environment,
Right.
And you know, it's not terribly thick considering how much is in it. Probably, I don't remember how many episodes Captain Planet has. I don't have mine.
Doesn't it give you a time frame
It
here?
doesn't really. I don't see it.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Usually it'll tell you how long it would take. Maybe it's in the ultra fine print.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. The only problem I had with it was pricey, but with that gift card, I didn't feel as bad about getting it.
I've been meaning to get that.
And I've been sort of trying to reclaim some of my childhood with some stuff. There are some shows I haven't really done that with, but most of the ones that I really love, I have. And one day I'm going to do a video with all of my childhood shows involved.
Okay.
Don't know when. I haven't finished collecting all the ones I want to collect yet. Then maybe afterwards.
Okay.
All right.
So my next one is decidedly not something I grew up with. In fact, it's decidedly not something I would say is kid appropriate. And that is, if memory serves, the first movie directed by Clint Eastwood. It's a movie called Play Misty for Me, where he basically plays an arrogant DJ of a local radio station who has a devoted caller who calls in every day and asks him, "Play Misty for me." And before long, things get weird and dark. And Eastwood is actually famous as one of the most successful actor-to-director conversions in Hollywood history. He is a really good director. But he started off a little wobbly, and this is definitely not the strongest film I've seen. But it's an interesting movie. It's worth watching. And this edition, this is a Kino release. This has a lot of bonus features on it. It's actually a really nice edition. This also is a DVD to Blu-ray conversion for me. I did have the DVD, and this will take up less space. It's probably on one of the many Eastwood collections out there, so I may eventually not even need it necessarily. Although with all those special features, it might be worth hanging on to this one. But like I said, not one of my favorite Eastwood films, but I do believe it was his first, so it's an important part of the... his first as director. Obviously, he was around for years as an actor. But, yeah. There you
Actually,
go.
come to think of it, when we're talking about like collections to kind of shorten things,
Yeah.
are you thinking about getting that Wes Anderson collection that they're releasing for Criterion?
I'm thinking about it. I want to see it and see what it looks like. Because to be honest, the only ones that I don't have already are the Olive Dogs and the French Dispatch. And both of those are getting their first individual releases the same time this collection comes out. So
Wait,
it's...
it might be cheaper to just get those two.
It might be cheaper, but if the set is nice and condensed...
Yeah.
And also some of the ones I have, Rushmore and Bottle Rocket, and I have some on DVD. So it might be worth getting it just to convert them all at once.
I wonder, Asteroid City is not on there then, I guess, because that's new, isn't it? Or is that...
I don't remember what that one.
Oh, well, we'll figure it out.
No, I think it might be on there. So that's one I don't have either.
And of course, there's one that's just been released or being released soon.
Yeah, well, it's out right now.
Yeah.
The Phoenician... What is it? The Phoenician... something.
I still haven't seen French Dispatch, to tell you the truth. I've seen Asteroid City, so maybe it came before French Dispatch.
Yeah.
But I have not... I think that's the only one I haven't seen other than this current one.
You got me curious now.
But my next one is one that you saw last week. I told y'all it was in the mail, and now it is here, and that is The Colors Within. I couldn't not get this. It's first off, it's kind of cool to have a steelbook, and by the person who did a silent voice, it can't be that bad.
I'm kind of amazed they actually had that at Walmart. The steelbook one too.
But let's see here. Comes a beautiful coming of age story. They love coming of age stories. Tatsuko has a unique way of seeing the world. She can see colorful auras around people, although she isn't able to see her own. She finds herself drawn to her classmate Kimi, who glows with the most beautiful color of all. To get closer to Kimi, Tatsuko forms a band with her and Rui, a quiet musician who plays the theremin. As the newfound friends develop the sound of their music, they start to uncover the desires driving the heart of their songs. That's kind of that's actually a pretty cool thing there. I am looking forward to checking that one out eventually, one year. Maybe.
Apparently this is Spinal Tap is coming out in September as well, and so is Flow.
I've heard a lot of good things about Flow.
Yeah, I know. Didn't it win the Oscar?
Yes, I think so.
So I do need to get that one. The Wes Anderson Archive has a $400 price tag.
Whew.
And it does not include Asteroid City. So, yeah, I'm less interested in getting that than I am just getting the two I need.
Yeah, I can get the two I need for probably like about $40.
Right. Right. But whatever, it's something to consider in the November sale.
Yes.
So the next one I have is one that I actually did see in theaters, and I really enjoyed it. I often say that it's really weird. I'm an English major. I'm a proud English major. And I find it fascinating and baffling that I got through not only secondary school, but college as an English major without ever reading Jane Austen. And there are a couple of other people who are on that list, but she's one of them, and I'm like, that is so weird. And honestly, probably my first real exposure to her, I think, was Joe Wright's 2004, I think, movie version of Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley. We also had Jenna Malone is in there, Brenda Blevin, Tom Hollander, Rosamund Pike, and Dame Judi Dench, and Donald Sutherland in one of the best roles ever as Mr. Bennet. Whatever anyone thinks about the merits of this versus any other version, I think Donald Sutherland's Mr. Bennet is classic and worth watching for that alone. Matthew McFadden also as Mr. Darcy. Good, solid film. I enjoy it. I like it. I think Joe Wright is a really solid director, and I really like what I've seen by him. I have gone on to see the famous mid-90s miniseries with Colin Firth, and I have now read the book. It's still the only Jane Austen I've read. It is a good book. I enjoy it. This, of course, is actually not a Shout or Kino release. This one, I guess, may have been directly released by Universal or whoever they subcontract to. I probably just picked it up on Amazon for a really, really cheap price. Again, I'm trying to cut way back on my Amazon usage. Bezos can go screw himself. But if I see a really good deal on a Blu-ray when I'm already ordering something, you know, I do still buy like necessities, and I do still skip over to Blu-ray to see if there's a really good deal. And this probably was really cheap. That's probably one of the reasons I threw it in there. I've had this DVD for a long time, but it was past due to upgrade to a Blu-ray. Yeah.
Well, this next one is a trilogy. It is my birthday month, so we decided to. So I decided to do a movie trilogy, which I said, well, that's still less than a 12-episode series as far as runtime. And I said, this will be good. And I looked, and I had been debating all this time, but then I found out that the original of this movie series came out the year I was born. I was like, well, that's a sign. So I upgraded. And you'll be able to figure out where that came from. To Galaxy Express 999, the movie, which is a shortening of the original series, which is a tale of revenge and space. It tells the Galaxy Railway. I actually do have the whole series on Blu-ray. When it came out finally, it was not in print in the United States, or even ever in print in the United States. For the longest time, but did finally get the full release. And I'm like, well, finally I can upgrade this. The only thing I'm missing now is the OVA.
I think I do have Galaxy Railway.
But I have I do have the OVA of this, but it's on DVD. But I saw these were going out of print, so I was like, okay, maybe I should go ahead. So that's the original movie. I have seen all three of these, by the way, but they are excellent films.
Okay.
Matter of fact, most people, I think it's Tezuka, is that right?
What?
The author behind it.
Is it Tezuka?
Matsumoto. No, maybe not. Leiji Matsumoto. But yeah, this is a legendary creator. One of those people who defined anime.
And it's a Toei release, right?
Yeah.
I saw their logo there.
So the second film in the series is Adieu, Galaxy Express 999. Which is, a continuation of the story. And then finally, my least favorite of the three, which is Galaxy Express 999 Eternal Fantasy, which is kind of cool. I really like the concept of the galactic train and railway, and I do have several series that feature that sort of thing. There is something kind of cool about a railway to the stars. And this is the series that got that started. So, and for those who don't really have time to sit through the entire series, it's a good breakdown of it.
And you can tell from the art style that it's old school.
Very old school.
All right. And then, well, that seems like a good segue. When I got here, I was given some DVDs. Got Galaxy Express 999.
Which those are all out of print, by the way.
Adieu, Galaxy Express 999. And Galaxy Express 999 Eternal Fantasy. So obviously not quite as sleek, not going to take up as little space, but definitely still well worth having. And now I can watch them at my leisure without worrying about streaming them, which is nice.
This is the longest at a little over 2 hours. Then we have, another one that's over 2 hours. And then this one's like an hour.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But
Good
still,
times.
less than a 12-episode series.
Yeah. And I am not familiar with this series, so I look forward to finally learning a little more about it.
Which this week, I know that it sounded like I'm sure it sounded to everybody like, how dare he make us sit through a full series of a show for Inside Movies Galore? We only have time for a movie. But the series that I'm having us do is Clerks the Animated Series, which the whole runtime is about even with the movie we watched last week.
And we're following it next week. Dave's choice is The Stand, which is like...
Okay, well, that's different.
a long one.
That's different.
That's what, 6 hours?
Yeah, that's a very different one.
Which The Stand is great, but I'm going to have to budget
2
time
hours
for that.
versus 6 hours is a big difference.
Yeah.
Now, my next one is a follow-up. It's an actual Umbrella release. Of course, we know about Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So, of course, we have to continue in our dark creatures group, where we have Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. Also done the same storybook fashion.
That is a nice addition, though.
And they try to do a full universe of them. So
it's the same people?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, so some fun stuff, and it's done the same way. So I can put it right next to my my Winnie the Pooh collections.
Wow.
So, fun stuff. I mean, evil Peter Pan, you can't really get crazier. I've heard there's a reindeer one, like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer one.
God.
So, that one's...
I admit that's a cool looking set.
That's kind of a cool thought there.
Wow. Okay, so next up, the title sounds like it could be related, but I'm sure it has nothing at all to do with it. My last two are actually ones that are not conversions in any way. Well, actually, the last three, if you count Galaxy Express, are not conversions. But these were, this one is one that I've seen on the shelves for many, many, many times over the years. I was always kind of curious about it. It has a great cast. I just never got around to it, and I still haven't seen it. But it was on sale, and I was like, okay, I'm going to grab this. This is also a Kino Lorber release. And it's the movie Mad Dog and Glory, which features Robert De Niro, the aforementioned Robert De Niro, Uma Thurman, and Bill Murray. Film from 1993.
Good cast.
It is. You've also got David Caruso and Kathy Baker. Music by Elmer Bernstein. Directed by John McNaughton. So this is an interesting pedigree. It's considered an action comedy. And the title apparently comes from... Well, Mad Dog is a detective played by De Niro, and Glory is the name of Thurman's character. And we've also got Murray... Oh, Bill Murray plays a gangster. Okay, that could be interesting. And this version has quite a few special features. So I have never seen this, but I've always been curious. It was on sale, so I grabbed it. I will get to it one of these days. De Niro and Murray together in a film. It's got to be worth a watch. So I look forward to it.
That sounds like it'd be fun.
Yeah.
These last couple are actually newbies in the collection. This first one is a Kickstarter, which kind of helped me when I gave him that to get us to 8. So this came today, and you never know when Kickstarter stuff's going to arrive.
Right.
And this one is for another Steve Rudzinski film, his latest. We all know about the dark Popeye the Sailor Man stuff, because Popeye is actually out of the public domain now. Or in the public domain.
I was going to say.
So he said, you know what? Instead of doing a negative one, we're going to do a positive Popeye movie with Wall-E meets Popeye.
Okay.
Which is a continuation of his series that has Wall-E in it. I guess the most well-known one would be Amityville Christmas Vacation, and it kind of is in that same vein, except this time he gets this free ticket to this island in the middle of Ohio, tropical resort in Ohio.
Oh, and of course.
And there's this evil, curse going on, and he has to go find and break the curse with the help of Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh, okay.
So, let's see if there's any... so there's audio commentary, bloopers, interviews, Amityville to Popeye, so I'm guessing that's a little, thing there. And this one's entertaining. I did write a letterbox review of it. I'll eventually do a full-on review. Usually those are my scripts for my reviews. I'm just like, I'll just put that on there. I just haven't really taken a chance, taken a time to do it. Once I'm done with my vacation stuff, that's probably the first one going up. This one's actually entertaining. Not as good as Amityville Christmas Vacation, but still very fun. I really did enjoy it. And any of these movies, they're enjoyable. If you haven't gotten a chance, they're always fun. The director's always full of heart, and it can be seen in these.
So that one says, on the island of Ohio.
Yes, on the island of Ohio.
I love it. I love it.
Yes, if you haven't gotten it and you like some of Steve Rudzinski's work, you'll like this one.
He was one of the ones that accepted an award, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah,
He won his film... gosh, what was the film's name? Something... The movie. It was like a Goosebumps.
Shoot.
But for some reason, that one got the most votes and got Best Picture.
Yeah, it got so much.
He even joked about, wow, better than...
Shingles, wasn't it?
Yeah, Shingles the movie.
Shingles,
Yes.
yeah.
So, if you haven't checked him out, you should. He does some pretty cool stuff.
All right. So, last week on Movies Galore... well, I'm not sure what week it'll be when this airs, but as of filming last week on Movies Galore, Dave subjected us to an interesting piece. The cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover.
Never again.
Yeah, probably not. And during the course of the conversation, other things were mentioned. And one of them was a movie that was infinitely more enjoyable. And I would venture to say a better film. But there was a lot of overlap between the two in many ways. And I have had this sitting on my shelf for a while. This was also a Movies Galore nominee. Versus Awards nominee a couple years back. But I actually watched it with my brothers, and we actually enjoyed it. I was kind of amazed that we all kind of enjoyed it. And that is a movie called The Menu.
Oh, excellent.
Which features Ray Fine as the rather exacting chef of a very, very, very exclusive resort. And Nicholas Hoult and Anya Taylor-Joy play a young couple invited to join. Although, if I recall correctly, she was actually not like his other exactly. She was like a last-minute add-on, which threw a wrench in Fine's plans, but also led to some interesting stuff. We also have Hong Chau, Janet McTeer, Judith Light, John Leguizamo. The film is directed by Mark Mylod? I guess I read that right. It's a dark... I wouldn't really call it a dark comedy, but it has comedic undercurrent to it.
It has a lot of thriller and
it's
horror elements.
More of a thriller horror than anything. But it gets into some really interesting stuff, and again, philosophically, it covers a lot of the same ground as that film that Dave subjected us to, but in a much more, well, let's say palatable manner of presentation. And I know your complaints about the kitchen in that one would not apply to this one. This one, the kitchen, yes. Very interesting movie. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected. Dave is occasionally right about things. And it was definitely worth grabbing when, I think I found it on sale real cheap or something.
So are you going to get the other movie, one that we watched?
Maybe one day, but it is not a priority.
And provided I actually get enough time to edit this, and it doesn't take long to edit these videos, because I just slap some music in the background, put the opener, ender, that will show you what we got, and then some posters. Right. So it doesn't take that long. It's just whether I have time to throw it together. But if we do it, then this will be the week that Clerks, the animated series, is discussed.
Okay.
So, this is 3 seasons. I'm ending it on. I rarely do anime unseen these days. I rarely do anything unseen these days. But, I don't know, something about this has always made me interested. And they released season 2 and 3 back to back. So I went ahead and I got them. So, this is Welcome to Demon School, Aruma-kun.
Okay.
Which this is the complete first season. Which is a Sentai.
Okay.
I don't like it when it feels loose in here.
No.
So guess what? I will be opening this on air.
Woo!
Because, well, you know, that's how it is. Or maybe I won't because I'm not... Gotta break out the keys.
That usually helps.
Breaking out the keys. Breaking out the keys. I always hate it when it has a loose sound in it. Yep, there it is. Loose. Let's see how bad it is in there. There's a Blu-ray, which is...
Yeah, it's probably not bad.
It looks shiny.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah. All these.
Oh, they all loose.
Yeah, just the top 2.
Okay.
And I think that one came loose because I put the other one in. And then that one.
Okay.
I really don't like these kind of thin ones there. Now they're all together.
Right.
But let's talk about what this is about. Aruma Suzuki's parents were horrible, nasty people who didn't just mistreat him. They literally sold his soul to a demon. Ironically, however, it turns out surprisingly well, as it seems that the demon has always wanted a grandson and is determined to make Aruma fit the role. Even if it means that Aruma has to go to school with all the other demon kids. Since Aruma never had a decent education, he's fine with that. But there's a catch. If anyone learns he's human, his classmates will eat him.
Sounds like Rosario and Vampire.
It does, doesn't it?
But his parents sound like Genma Saotome.
Talk about pressure to fit in. Amazingly, Aruma manages to to blend in fairly well with his devilishly good new friends. Now, if he could only stop nearly giving himself away by trying to do nice things, he might even survive to graduate and welcome to Demon School Aruma-kun. So, you've got this here. I mean, the art style, the way it goes, it does have a lot of Rosario vibes to it.
That looks fun.
Maybe this one will actually be very fun. It sounds like a fun premise. And of course, that's season 2, which is kind of cool. And then this one is season 3, which is weird because this one was put out by Sentai. These other 2 were put out by Crunchyroll. Which is kind of weird. But I've been looking at this one for ages. I didn't really just make some sort of spur-of-the-moment decision to say, yeah, I'm just going to get this out of nowhere. I'd been thinking about it for a while. Because this one came out a while ago.
Right.
But these 2 just released this year on physical. So.
Cool.
Well, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and share. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
SeptumSin versus the world. It's that place for all the boys and girls. You'll feel real safe, you'll feel real warm. It's a cozy place to ride out the storm. SeptumSin. SeptumSin and his best boy Jake see the trends that scare us every day. Physical media is going to the side. Doctor streaming will rule the